Well, hello, this is Susan for SLC Aquatics coming to y'all live today to bring you all another all girls live stream. And we have some great things planned for today. And we also have a guest with us on the panel that is ready. We have several ladies who said that they may make it today, and some are not feeling too well. So we want to bring the subject today that we have problem fish and problems or things that can go wrong in the fish room, and we want to try to bring some solutions. So at this time, I want to invite Darlene from Darlene's Tanks to the panel. Hey, Darlene. Oh, we lost you completely. No mic.
Let me try
There you
again.
are. It's muted again. Okay.
Now?
Yeah. Sometimes they don't come on right after, but we don't have anybody else watching this right now. Oh, yes, we do. Holly Gibbs came in. She says, sounds interesting. These are just things that pop in my head that as a hobbyist, sometimes uh, I don't see anybody teaching on problem fish. And in order to bring that subject forward, we're going to have to give a little history about the location in the country that we're living in, what our water is, out of the tap, pH and hardness, if you know it. And so we may have problem fish because of that, or we may have problem fish because we are not knowledgeable enough how to take care of a certain type of fish and we've had problems with it. And, you know, sometimes we're just not the right person for that type of fish, honestly. Like, I don't need to have any cichlids because, not a big 75-gallon tank because, first of all, I don't like that type of fish. I don't care for those type. I love watching it in other people's aquariums. I love how they can make their decor all beautiful and they can have multicolor fish. But I guess those are South African cichlids, and I'm probably going to lose some followers right now. But they would be a problem for me because first of all, if you don't want that type of fish, you're not going to take 100% care of it like you would on a large breeding platform. And I've heard too many aggression problems with cichlids, and some cichlids that get very big that you need to feed them live fish or lots of protein all the time that dirties the tank. I don't really want a high maintenance type aquarium, and that's why my goldfish go outside in the pond because I can only do massive water changes out there. I don't have any problems with them being overfed or anything because goldfish are going to eat just about anything that you put in there. So those are just some things that came to my mind when I was talking, when I came up with the topic today about problem fish. But see, my favorite guppy, my favorite fish, the guppy, can be a problem sometimes. Depends on the breeder that you get them from. Depends on if they get any kind of disease. Sometimes they can become problem fish. Sometimes they can overproduce quicker than what you're ready and prepared for. Like I told last week the story about getting two 20-gallon aquariums, and then next thing you know, I have all these babies, and so I need Rod to pick up some plastic tubs for me. So I started having guppies faster than I was prepared. And so even though it being my favorite fish, it could still be a problem fish for me. And then there's things that can go wrong in the fish room. There's things that can go wrong in the hobby. And so we want to try to highlight on some of those things and bring a solution, or if I found a solution, share my solution, share your solution. or if I handled it the wrong way, and if I was to replicate the situation, what kind of solution would you provide for that problem? So I think we're going to have a can of worms today. What do you think?
Well, I don't know a lot of solutions. I always have to look it up and see what I can do. I
Yeah,
have to read about it.
we looked
And
it
so,
up.
yeah, I know I didn't want to get guppies because they do reproduce too fast, and I was scared of that. But the more I see them, the more I like them. And
Yeah.
so, but my biggest problem right now is that my Corys tore up my tank last night, and I don't know what they did. I didn't feed them yesterday,
Oh yeah.
and I've never skipped a day, but I read that it's good to skip a day, so I didn't feed them, and they tore up my tank, so I got to go fix the Cory tank back. They got mad.
They got mad and went foraging
Yeah,
like
they
they
did.
in the natural. So that could be your problem that you have in your fish room
Yes,
this time. And
that's what I've been working on today.
so your solution is not to skip a day of feeding.
I guess so. I overfeed. I know I overfeed, and so yeah, I thought I'd skip it, and but they didn't like that.
We want to also welcome Susie Q into the panel today. Hey, Susie Q.
Hey,
Hey, everybody.
Susie.
How are
Happy
you?
Friday the 13th.
Yes, happy blessed
Yes,
Friday the 13th.
yes, it is.
Jesus Christ and his 12 disciples is the way I look at it.
Woohoo.
But a friend of mine today posted on Facebook about how bad it's been in 2020. Here you go with the what was it, 2 full moons in 1 month, and all the hurricanes and all the flooding and the earthquakes
Didn't
and
we have locusts too?
somebody had some locusts. Yeah, I think so. But I can't
And all
remember.
that going on, and we're worried about our fish.
Yeah, we're worried about our fish and uh, isolating ourselves from the world and
Yes.
becoming the happy introverts. But today's subject, Susie, is going to be problem fish and things that can go wrong in the fish room, and hopefully solutions to go with it.
Boy, I can talk about that all day.
Well, I want to take a minute here and go into the chat and say hello to some people so that they don't feel like we're ignoring them, because I've asked the people in the chat to bring their questions to us today. I want to say hi to Holly Gibbs. Darlene Tanks is on the panel and saying hi in the chat. We've got Jesse at HC Aqua with us today, and a new name, Magic Turtle. I don't know this person, but I want to welcome you into the hashtag FishFam All Girls Livestream today. We've got KG Cichlids, Kevin here. We got Simply Betta. Hey girl, how are you doing? We also have, I guess that's it right now. Oh, Lori Venker came in. Hey, Lori. And I appreciate all of my mods to be able to share links of those who come up on the panel for me, because I'm going to get distracted in taking notes and discussing and kind of moderating the panel so that we all don't talk at the same time. And I appreciate you guys for not talking at the same time. Some of us are pros at this and some of us are new, and we just want to let everybody know that sometimes it gets kind of confusing and kind of loud and we can't hear each other, and we want you to be heard. Magic Turtle says, thank you. I do follow your videos, but am normally pretty shy in chat. Well, thank you, Magic Turtle, and welcome again. Holly says, Friday the 13th is usually lucky for me. Today being no different. I found an Ennis book, Aquarist Bible, for free. Yes, I saw that picture on Instagram.
Oh, good.
I mean, on Discord. So she got it for free, and she got a beautiful piece of driftwood. Holly, you want to come up on the panel today and show us your driftwood? I hear you, Sophie. Sophie,
If it gets too loud, don't hesitate to mute my mic.
oh, she's fine with me. She's just faintly there. Now, if she gets excited about what we're talking about and wants to really put in, then we may have to put her on camera.
Yeah.
But Darlene and I were talking about some problems already, and I don't know if you were in the process of connecting when I was running my mouth and losing subscribers about my favorite fish not being South African cichlids because of their aggression and just you got to have such a large setup for them, and I'm a very simple fish keeper. I don't even have a canister filter in my house. I have a sump and it's never been hooked up because it's not a sump for drilled tanks. It's the hang over the top type suction. Anyway, my son-in-law's going to promise to help me set it up one day. And so I said, I'm losing subscribers by saying they're not my favorite fish because they would definitely be a problem fish for me to keep. But then I said, my favorite fish, being a guppy, has caused me so many problems. They've gotten Camellianus worms. They've overproduced faster than what I was prepared for aquariums. And then I had to find a local fish store that would even take my guppies. And then I became the local guppy lady because I was bringing so many guppies into him. But anyway, and then Darlene was sharing some situations. So Darlene, I'm going to let you go ahead and pick back up on your problem situation with your Cory cats last night.
They just went crazy last night, tore up my tank. I didn't feed them for a day. And they didn't like that. So I was fixing my tank a little bit, working on it when I saw this come up. And so when we finish, I got to finish it. But my bubble bars all the way up to the top, laying sideways. I don't know what they did. They had a party. And so they just had a good time. And so, but I am putting sand. I have sand in my new 65. And that has been sitting there for months and months and months. And I am waiting for the sand to settle. But tonight I'm putting my old sponge filter in from my other tank and that I've been seeding for months. And I am turning on my hang on back filter, so hopefully to clear it up. And so, but as far as problems, not a lot here. But I don't have a lot of fish either. So.
But Susie, I think that's still a good idea. You came up with a problem and a solution. So your solution is you're going to feed them tonight, right?
Yes, I've already fed them this morning, so don't get mad on me.
Oh, well, and I have another solution for you, Darlene, is if you want to wean your Cory cats into a fast day, you might want to start diminishing the amount that you feed.
True.
Like 3 days before a fast, to prepare their gut. And then if they still tear up the tank the next day when they haven't had any food, then there could be another situation going on that you don't know about. Like they might be getting a little happy and spawning and tearing up the tank.
They have been. They've been all over the tank. There's 5 pepper Corys and 6 albino Corys. And then there's 5 Danios. And it's a 29. That's all that's in there. And so, but I am moving them to a 20, and I hope to get 2 goldfish to go in the 29. So
that's awesome. That is so awesome. You're going to get the fancy Orlando type goldfish?
I want those Orlando, but I'm afraid they might be too big for the 29. So I might go with the
really teeny tiny and start them out in the 29.
Yeah, but I'm not going to have a bigger aquarium than, and I don't want to donate my 65 to them. Mm-hmm. I want it to be a community tank, a tank with rainbows and Corys and whatever else I could get there. And so,
well, all right. Thank you so much. Susie Q, over to you. I know this was a soft spot for you last week, and I'm sorry for bringing it back up.
No, that's good. That's good. I think I could talk about it now without crying hysterically, so that's good.
Okay, good. And
I think I got some solutions, but I want to tell everybody what happened, at least what I think happened, because there's no guarantee. I have a fish room of about 30 or 40 tanks. And so when I do water changes, I do like 1/4, 1/3 of the fish room every week. And throughout the month, everybody gets changed. And we had some heavy rains. Wasn't thinking. I did water changes in about 1/3 of my tanks. There's probably 10 or 12 tanks, maybe even 15. And I had to go to work because I have 2 part-time jobs now. So I was being, really quick and going to work, and I put the safe in and came home, fell right asleep. I just passed out from physical labor. And when I woke up the next day, I went down, to look at my fish, and I would say the fish in at least 10 of the tanks had all passed.
10?
And it didn't dawn on me that because we had so much rain that the township may have changed the chemicals that they put in. And if I had thought about it, and this is all hindsight, I probably would not have changed the water in those tanks. My fish would have been fine going an extra week or so without the water change. It's really hard testing the water ahead of time for things you don't know what's in there. Like, is it extra chloramines? Is it extra what, so not knowing, and I don't even know if that's actually what happened. That's the only thing I can figure that happened, because the safe is still working fine in all my other tanks. I'm at a little bit of a loss. Heartbreaking. And since in the back of my head, I'm not positive that's what it is, because I'm not that careful with cross-contamination. I'm just being perfectly transparent here. If I do have like 5 or 6 nets hanging on certain things, but when I'm doing water changes, it's the same hose going in. Do I rinse it off? Yes, but the nets constantly get mixed up, cleaning out the tops of the tank. So could somebody have been very sick?
No, you locked up.
All the tanks. Are we here? Yeah. Thoroughly tore down all the tanks, sterilized everything, and started with fresh hospital tanks, like empty hospital tanks. And it's hard. It's hard when you've raised some of these babies from fry and you care for them. But I mean, and it was close because it was so hard to even talk about that. I was like, forget this. The initial thoughts were like, I'm not that I'm not good enough to be a fish keeper. The fish deserve better homes than I can give them. Like, all these horrible thoughts go through my head. And I actually had to talk to caring fish keepers that had to remind me, sometimes stuff happens.
Yes.
So I am at a better place where I could talk about it. Now, a couple of my prized possessions,
Yeah.
I'm starting fresh. Didn't run out and get a whole lot of fish. I did get 3 or 4 fish that after they're done quarantining are going to go in some of my other tanks. And I keep going. And I fight the urge, because there's a part of me. I want my YouTube channel to grow.
Yes.
And I know people love these horrible, I killed all my fish. Like I could have done some dramatic thumbnail that I don't want to do that. I don't mind sharing my experience if somebody gets benefit out of it.
Right.
But I got to try not to sensationalize, just like I don't go out and buy fish just to do a video. For the same fact, I don't want to take something that I found very tragic and I still don't know what really happened. And I don't want to, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
It does to me anyway. So I don't know if there's a solution in there, but I think if it's raining hard, and I mean, it was flooding hard for a couple weeks, and I don't even know if that's what it was. All well and good to say, I'm going to be very careful with my cross-contamination. But I know me, and I know my limitations, and my attention span is about that big sometimes. I don't think that's feasible.
Let alone our patience sometimes. We don't have any patience. Are y'all hearing me?
I'm hearing you.
Okay.
I'm there.
Sometimes when I mute my mic goes out.
To me, that was a tragedy.
So
that wasn't
your
the
problem,
normal things that could happen in your fish room, like when I introduced new fish into that aquarium and I had to remove my Oscar because somebody took off 10 scales off the side. That is a very common thing that could happen if you're not paying attention, or even if you are paying attention. I scooped him out, put him in another aquarium, added stress coat, antibiotics. He's doing fine. He's loving his 55-gallon all by himself, the special attention. To me, that's like a normal fish keeping problem that has solution, as opposed to what I went through. Is like, I don't know what the solution would be, if that makes sense. I hope I didn't ramble.
well, I too agree with you about the heavy rainfall, flooding, contaminated the water source, and then the water company probably rain's going to add acid, lower the pH to our drinking water. So they like to keep our drinking water at 7.0. So they're going to be adding buffers to the water that's going to maybe fluctuate your pH suddenly. Like I said, a lot of times what kills our fish is pH fluctuation. And I do believe that Father Fish and Dwayne Kitchell and some of the older experienced people in the hobby have said the most important chemical to watch is your pH, and to keep it stable. Fish don't like sudden changes.
Yeah.
So, Darlene, I know you feel like you don't qualify right here, but I want you to know that your input is very welcome. And do you agree with her solution of disinfecting, breaking down the tanks where she had death, and starting over again with quarantine tanks?
Yeah, I do. I really do. And I was sitting here thinking I have a pH problem because my pH is coming out of the faucet now at 6.4, which it always came out at 7.2. So my pH is lower, and I'm having a problem keeping my pH up in my tanks. And so, which my tanks with the tetras, it's okay. They like a lower pH, but it's just different than it was.
Okay.
And so, but I've added crushed coral to the back of my tanks.
Oh.
And so it's steady at a 6.8 maybe. So it is, coming up. And so that's what I've done.
Nice. Yeah, I've used the crushed coral. Nice, slow increase. I don't chase pH, but there are certain fish that need that little extra buffer. Oh, look what we got in the house. We got Hat Trick Farm in the house.
One thing.
It's,
Be back.
Susan, are you?
Yeah, we were buffering. We were buffering.
Okay.
And
cool.
it's probably a drop in my internet signal.
I was just saying hi to everybody new that joined the chat. I see Melvin joined. Sir Funkalot is here. Hat Tricks Farm. Look at everybody coming in. Hey, guys.
That's awesome.
There's Aquafunk.
Yes, Jason's here. Heavy rainfall changes the pH and hurts the fish farmers out here in Tampa.
Oh.
So a good solution for water changes that we normally do, if we have had weather change in our area, I would delay water changes at least 2 weeks, if possible.
Okay, good idea.
And
so does this, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, darling.
So does this mean that if it has rained hard that I need to check my pH coming out of my tap before I do a water change? Or do I need to check it all the time?
We should check it all the time, but most of us don't. Just like Susie says, to be honest, we don't practice good cross-contamination methods until it hits us hard. Rachel O'Leary will tell her story. She lost almost her whole fish room from cross-contamination. So now she keeps a white bucket with bleach solution in it so that she can use a net and dip in there, grab a fresh net. When she's finished using it, it goes in there. And I know Dwayne Kitchell fussed at me like crazy with my python. He watched my videos going from tank to tank. I thought I was doing something, saving time on water changes. And Dwayne Kitchell just fussed at me. He says, Susan, every time you put that hose in another tank, you will cross-contaminate. I said, how is that so? That's my same water, my same, every fish tank has the same water chemistry, blah, blah, blah. He said, but you've got different stock, different plants, different everything in each aquarium. And I'm like, okay. I still, to this day, being honest, do not rinse my hose out every water change.
Guilty.
And then
So-
we'll all come back here one day with another problem-solving solution and hear the echo. I told you so.
Yep. So
Right.
Funk used to do a live stream on, I think it was Sunday nights, and he had the theme like confess your sins, your fish sins. This would have been one of those. Okay, have
Yeah,
you ever?
that would be a good one for me to participate in.
Yeah, Funk. I think we need some absolution here.
He says, Laura, you got five.
Trimax. I want to see them. I got one beautiful Trimax, and Cooper from Cooper Cichlid has got some babies for me because I'm going to try to find a female and maybe start 5. I can't even. Ooh, we did a little blink in and blink out. I like it.
I'm trying to close some browsers. And I popped my chat out so I have a chat in StreamYard.
I gotcha. So, can I tell a real quick side story? I'll be real quick. And it's not fish. But I have a Eurymastix, which is very similar to like a bearded dragon.
Okay.
And I forgot to put the stone back on top of the lid. So guess what happened when I came home from work?
You had a
Found
little.
it.
Yeah,
Surprise.
lizard's gone. I'm like, whoa, oh. So a reptile room, which is almost as big as my fish room, that's filled with more plants than I have here, looking all over for a lizard when I just tore down my whole reptile room. Well, he was curled up in an empty 40-gallon breeder, just sleeping, sound like a baby. I didn't find him for like 6 hours.
How big is he?
About that big.
Good size.
Bright orange, lovey-dovey, real cuddly, lovey guy. But I just thought it was funny because it's another issue that's all I have to do is pay attention to the details.
I think anything we do as hobbyists do not need to do anything in a hurry.
No. Especially water changes.
But you know, this time in our life, we're always in a hurry. I mean, we are always hurrying to get to the next place, to do this, to do that, to be done with that, and, you know, to make supper, to get to work, you know, we're always in a hurry. So we just need to slow down a little bit, I think. But who has time for that, right?
I think when we want to do less, we end up doing more because
Yes.
when I'm sitting still trying to make a plan of what I'm going to do, I get sidetracked and my brain, the wheels in my brain go to spinning to where nothing makes sense.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Hey, D down the wormhole and Roxanne at Foxy's Fishes. Y'all need to come up on the panel today because
Now, look, we got Dee, we got Holly, we got
Yeah.
Cynthia, we got everybody in the house. Come on up.
come on up, girls. How about you, Lori? Are you coming up?
Come on up in front of your Trimac tank.
Yes. Even though this is a fish channel, we have to talk about reptiles because of evolution. We have critters that are born aquatic that become
Good point.
crawling critters on the on land, but they have to live in water for a while and go through a transition. And our poor little axolotls who
Yeah.
never finish their transformation from the water, right?
Yeah. Good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have air breathing fish
Oh, yes, we do.
that don't
Do you
breathe.
still
'Cause
have
I'm here.
crayfish?
No,
Um,
no.
no.
Talk about problems. Oh,
What was that? What was the question that the answer was no?
crayfish. She asked me if I still have any crayfish.
Uh.
No, because I had over 150 of them during the shutdown.
I'm so jealous.
You want some?
Oh my goodness,
No.
I do.
There's this lady that she wants to sell me her tank. It's a 75-inch tank. It's what I don't think she knows what she has, but she says it's a 75-inch tank. And
What is
but
that?
it comes with 2 crayfish.
That's 6 foot. Is that 6 foot?
I don't know. She says
I gotta do
70.
my math.
Yeah.
Make me do math. Oh, that's
But,
beautiful.
Yeah, she said I could have it for $100. It's 6 months old, but it comes with 2 crayfish.
Well, see, your crayfish are not, the ones she's selling you are not self-cloning. Mine were self-cloning crayfish.
Those are the ones I want.
That's why I went like this.
Unless, of course,
Yeah.
you have a Oaxaca puffer, a spotted puffer. I got a lot of animals that would love reproducing crayfish.
Yes. I know.
Well, I've been measuring my walls.
Oh, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I would love to get a 6 foot tank. I was actually thinking about making one. If I make one all out of plywood except for the front glass, I would only have to purchase the front, which is expensive. But I was thinking about that, and then how much would I trust it?
Yeah.
I hung a screen door that kind of fell off the hinge, so I don't know.
I don't know. You did well putting in your air thing, your linear air.
I
Yes.
did the whole linear piston air pump system. I am
Yes,
so proud of
ma'am.
myself.
Man.
And so, and you did good putting the straw and stuff on the poles for the plants and stuff.
Yes, I did.
So and you make your miniatures fine. So you know
Get
you
better.
are creative, and you can do it, Susie. You can do it.
Well, darling, 180-gallon aquarium is 72 inches long, 24 inches deep, and 25 inches high.
Wow.
So maybe it's a 200-gallon aquarium.
That would be amazing.
I don't know. I think she's just mismeasured. And because it doesn't look that big in the picture that she sent me, and I can't get her to measure all ends for me.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so, I mean, she only wants $100 for it,
I would still say yes.
Mhm.
It sounds like like you said, a 75-gallon aquarium.
And it comes with a stand and a light and a filter and decoration.
Aren't you running over there?
Yeah, I can tell you where it is, Susan. It's in Birmingham.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's only what? That's like 1,000 miles away from me. That's for sure, right?
Yeah. It's 20 minutes from us. Well, I think it's closer to Susan. It's about 20 minutes from me.
Oh, wow.
I'm about 20 minutes from Susan.
Let's see. Hat trick. What did she say? She said, just wanted to say hi. I have the fear you're here. Need to get back to the barn and have a great stream. Okay, Jess. Thank you. We got a lot of horse people here. I know Holly's a horse, manes, tails, furs, and fins, and Hat Trick Farm, and there's several horse women in the hobby.
Yeah.
And
So
then,
I had the same issue you had, Susan, when I first started in the hobby with the angelfish.
yeah,
I wasn't trying to breed them. I didn't even know what that really entailed. But before you know it, I had about 60 to 70 angelfish.
yes,
And I had more eggs and then more eggs. I was very blessed. My local fish store took a whole lot of them. As soon as they reached a dime size, And then if I found out if I let them get to the quarter size, they gave me more money. And then I learned about the BAP program at my local fish club.
See,
I realized that that's a lot of work. I don't know, like simply, but like I don't know how somebody breeds betta fish. That is a lot of work. That's like breeding axolotls. All my angel babies could stay in the same tank. All these other ones, like you got to segregate out as soon as they get old enough, or they'll predate on each other. And
yeah,
that is high intense focus work.
right. So there are problem fish in the hobby that we need to be aware of for the beginner hobbyist. A lot of times the local fish store where they buy their first equipment, or if they just buy their first equipment from a marketplace, flea market area. I don't know who they're, it depends on who's advising them on what they want to do. And then some people who start in the hobby, they know exactly what they want to keep, but they don't know all of the detail of what size aquarium, what do I feed them, how big do they grow, what water conditions do they need to survive in or thrive in, or do you want them to breed or not to breed? I don't like bringing up the glowfish, but the glowfish, have now gotten to the part where now they can reproduce themselves.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah,
that illegal? Or it's
Yeah.
illegal to sell them?
So that they can, sell them. And, I'm not saying all of them can reproduce, but, they're still illegal in some countries to have. And I'm such a naturalist that I just hate when man gets involved and changes something that's not natural. But what about the flower horn? What about the parrot fish? They're
Fancy
pretty.
goldfish, yeah.
Yeah, it's the goldfish. So, oh,
I think we intervene as soon as we set up a glass box in our house, right?
yes, we do.
Totally take them out of their environment.
But then if you get with the CARES program and Project Piaba, and what's that other program you were with, Susie? Yeah, from your hobby that took some of their extra angels.
The BAP program?
What is it called?
The BAP program? That's a breeder's award. You get points and share 6 of those fry with other club members. So you breed them, you bring them in, and you get certain points for different species. And the CARES program is a little different, as you know.
Yes.
More of you got to set up a dedicated fish tank for that species, because you never know. There could be some people that come back to those who have registered CARES species and want to reintroduce them to the wild, and they're going to start wanting a small colony, a couple thousand, and you could be a part of that.
Yes.
But you have to have that dedicated tank or tanks to building that colony without mixing it with other things, and be ready just in case. And I think it's pretty cool. But
yeah, I need it.
Keep breeding and they don't come to fruition.
Please don't take me the wrong way and slap me if I need it. But I need an empty graveyard with those concrete vaults already in the ground to fill with water so that I can breed CARES fish.
Oh my gosh. Yep.
I'm bad. You can tell when I'm tired. I don't have good taste.
I started a job today on Friday the 13th.
Yay!
I did.
I'm in a semi-hydroponic greenhouse.
Awesome.
So there we go. So now I'm in the bird store and the greenhouse, 2 part-time jobs. Opened up a miniature Etsy store for my miniatures. Hopefully this will pan out to be something somewhere. If not, I'm living the dream right now.
It's your
It's
dream.
time for change. Yes.
That's just so awesome.
Yep. I'm
Wow.
trying. Build it and they will come, right?
Yes, I told you when that incident happened with the truck that those jobs were yours. It cost you, but it was yours.
Yep.
Wherever the greatest opposition is, I say go for it. Keep pressing forward. It's yours. The devil just don't want you to have it. Oh, but we want to shout out Lazarus. I don't know if y'all know him, Lazarus the fish boy. He is going
Yeah.
to go live after us today, and he
Oh,
asked
cool.
if I would shout him out. He's really an awesome young fish keeper, and he's really doing some great teaching videos right now. And I even learned watching him, and that's not saying a whole lot, but I do.
I watch him. So I watch him. I enjoy him.
So we're
And
gonna
I-
shout you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just put you up on the screen, and we're gonna shout you out there. We also have Laz's Fish Fantasy in the house. Hello, Laz. How are you? Oh, he says it's still Lazarus. He changed channels on.
Oh,
That looks like a cichlid there. I don't know what. I know about yellow labs, but I don't know about those type of cichlids with the black dorsal fin and all the other fins. So Vanoskis is here. Hello, Vanoskis Hanks. Hi guys. We got Amber at Big City Business. Hey,
Amber.
Amber.
hey, Amber.
How are you feeling today? You want to come up, girl? Let me see if I still. Yep. Here's the link.
I want to show Amber my new pothos.
Come here. Let me put you on large screen, Susie. Go for it.
I got my Cebu Blue. Look at this up and up from Cebu Blue. I love her. Oh.
And what's the first word that you're saying?
It's CEBU, Cebu Blue, but it's epinephrine. It's the same as pothos. But it's kind of like a dusty blue color, grayish, gorgeous, and it might get fenestrations, like little holes in it.
Yeah.
Yep. Loving it. I thought of Amber as soon as I found it. I found it at Home Depot. I'm like, yeah.
That Sophie's excited too.
Yes, she loves the plants. You should see inside her cage. I have the big fern. I have a hibiscus that's about 3 foot long and a parlor palm all inside her cage.
Will it upset your camera to tilt it over?
See, will it work? Let's see here.
Hey, Sophie. She's chuckling. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
You got a hibiscus.
Ooh, I smell something good in the kitchen. Ooh, he's cooking some dinner. Mmm.
Yum, yum.
He's a good man. He's a good man, let me tell you.
John, you're a good man. Yes, you are.
You hear that, John? You're a good man.
Gets my vote, a cooking man.
Amen. Mine will cook just
He's
as
a better
good.
cook than I am, that's for sure.
Rod can cook better than me, I think.
Yeah.
Amber says, I love those pothos so much. It's such a great plant. That's what Amber's, yeah, her name's Amber.
My house is so dark I can't grow nothing. I have a 1 philodendron, 3 mother-in-law tongues, and a ponytail palm. That's it. And so I would love to have more plants, but I have to have really low light plants.
I have the area for them, but I just forget about them sometimes. Oh, there you are, Susie. Welcome back. Oh, she froze. You froze.
Yep. She's been freezing a lot today.
Yeah, it could be a mixture of all of our internets.
I
There
think-
you are.
It could be.
It's lagging a little bit, but you're back.
Is it me that's lagging?
Yeah, just you. You
Yeah.
probably touched your antenna area on your iPad or whatever.
Yeah.
And you
That's why I don't like moving anything once I'm live. I'm like,
So, who else has had a problem fish? Not just Susie's had angels. I've had guppies and crayfish. Um, what else is a problem? Oh, my yo-yo, my first yo-yo loach was a problem
Oh.
because he was all by himself. It was the one that CJ Black sent to me to rehome him. Called him Henry. Do you remember Henry?
Oh.
When I shut down the fish room back in was it March and April? I shut it down and was selling livestock. She said, "Don't sell him. Send him back home." So I sent him back home, and of course he's doing fine. But the problem that I had with one yo-yo loach was that he will harass the other fish because he likes yo-yos like to school, and they need company, and even my angelfish was like, "Why are you swimming and following me and, coming up next to me and wanting to touch me and stuff?" Like, get away. So he was stressing the fish out in the 55. And I had a school of cory cats in the 20. Probably had about I actually had about 8 cory cats at one time in that 20-gallon. And I said, well, let me see what he does with these cory cats, because they're all bottom dwellers, right? And when they're happy, they'll swim all over the aquarium. The next thing I know, Henry befriended my large female cory cat, who was the mother of everybody.
Oh, my.
And they would swim up and down and all over together, all over the 20-gallon. And Henry was happy and the cory cats were happy. And I'm like, yay, there's the solution. So when I started the fish room back up in July, a guy was moving and wanted to sell 5 yo-yo loaches. So Susan went and got those 5 yo-yo loaches. And at first they all stayed to the back of the 20-gallon and would hide up behind the filter intake tube. You hardly ever saw them. They were scared to death.
Oh.
Then I got with Father Fish. I capped that gravel, the 2-inch gravel, with 2 inches of black sand. They were happy. The water column undoubtedly clear. He says that's a sterile environment. Once you cap your substrate, you create a sterile environment, which means there's no ammonia, no nitrite, no heavy nitrates or anything until you start feeding that aquarium.
Oh.
So he says, don't feed your fish. He went on a rant. Don't feed your fish if you're capping.
Don't tear up your aquarium.
He says, put those plants in there, and those plants will keep everything balanced and everything. But I tell you, with my 20-gallon, the more I feed it, the more trouble I get out of it. So I drop, small little shrimp pellets or algae wafers for the yo-yo loaches, and I put just a pinch of flakes in there for the guppies. And then sometimes I skip a day. And
now, the guppies don't predate on each other if they're hungry?
No, not too much. I have hornswort floating at the top. I have fry in there. And
good solution.
So that right there. Cut back on our feeding. A lot of times I think we overfeed.
I do, definitely. Because they're always begging.
Yeah.
They always want to eat.
So they get used to my face now. They want to come up and they beg for food and they say, oh, she's just staring at us again.
But, are you standing there going, nah, 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 nah?
But they really, in nature, they love to forage. Yeah. And the smaller little bits and pieces that they can find is better for their gut than us cramming these freeze-dried bloodworms and these.
Yeah.
Now one thing I watched on Father Fish was him feeding them frozen pieces of chicken. to his cichlids.
Really?
Yep. You have to go back and find that video. But he would just open up a bag of chunked up frozen chicken, and he'll just drop it in there. But it might be once a month he does that, or once every 3 weeks, And he said that will feed the whole tank because they'll fight over it just like they do in nature.
Oh.
So on your frozen bloodworms, do you thaw them out, wash them, and then feed them? The back of the package says drop the cube in there. That's what I've been doing.
Now, every once in a while, I will rinse them. Like if I'm feeding my betas, I will rinse them, and I will take a, what's the little eyedropper called?
Pipette.
Yes, the pipette. And I will only put in there what I see them eat. I hardly ever let a bloodworm drop to the bottom unless I'm feeding my Cory cat bloodworms.
Yeah.
So I think little is much.
I dropped the whole thing in there. I'm bad like that. The whole thing.
And
I have dropped it, the whole thing in there, and then I wait for enough to be in that tank. Then I'll pull it out and go throw it in another tank. So I'm contaminating my tanks. And so I didn't even realize it.
I think that's
worse. With the tetras, I didn't even realize I was doing it that way. So because one's too much for one tank for my smallmouth fish.
I don't get the cubes. I get the big flat sheet, and I can.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
How do you break it, Susie? I mean, if it's already frozen, how do you?
Literally, like on the side of the counter, and I got a flat piece. I throw it in the Tupperware, and then as I'm going, like Susan does, but I don't use a pipette. I use tweezers. And I'll just sit there and tweeze in every tank and walk around. But that's also the same day I'm doing water changes. Okay. So once you get all that frozen food in there and everything else, and then I get to sit and watch because they're all happy and fighting and everything. Then I'll go through and do all the water changes. So I guess I'm the same. I don't let the worms sit in there.
So what you're doing, you're breaking off a piece, and then you're thawing it out.
It's kind of like sitting in the Tupperware because it takes me quite a while to feed all the tanks.
Yeah, they end up thawing.
I see now.
Yeah.
And my puppers, I keep them in the tweezers. They literally have to take them and pull them out because I love when they tug on my tweezers to get the worm. I just love that. It's like, it's a small thing.
I'll have to do that.
Yeah.
Because the big flat thing is a lot cheaper than the little big cubes.
Yeah. I mean, the little cubes are nice, but you're right. I don't even have a tank big enough that I could drop a whole cube. First of all, if anything, like most of my South American cichlids shouldn't be eating the bloodworms, but very rarely, because my Oscar would eat the whole thing without even chewing. It'd be gone.
Yeah. Does he spit it back up?
No, some little pieces come out as gills, but he is a piggy. I got to be very careful what I feed him. But he'll do the same thing with peas and cucumbers. So I just make sure I feed a lot of vegetables, and because he's just a little winker.
We got 5 minutes, ladies, but I wanted to share this. Holly Gibbs says the only problem fish so far was Hannibal, my ghost knife. He ate 40 neons, which was my fault that I fixed his problem by taking him back to the local fish store.
Wow.
Holly, am I laughing out loud? Oh, no.
Well, he went back to the fish store full. So
yes. But
it was definitely full.
That's funny. That's like the first time I put all the fry from the angelfish. I put them in the tank that had the juveniles in it because I was like, oh, there's so many. Well, I turn around, all the fry were gone. I was like,
thank you for feeding us.
Didn't even dawn on me. It's like, oh, wait a minute.
Because we think, oh, you're the same kind of fish. You're not gonna eat each other.
Yeah, I get tickled when I watch some videos and they say, and my fish just disappeared. They're not in the tank anywhere. Where did they go? And then there's that big old catfish sitting there,
Yeah. By the time I put all these plants in the goldfish bowl, in the goldfish tank, and I'm like, I'll just call that salad because it's all gone to the stem.
That's true. So I know this is awful, but I got my first duck week started and bringing in some plants, and I don't know if I'm going to like it or not because I hear so many people complain about it. But if I'm getting goldfish, I think it'll be good.
Oh, yeah.
You'll see if you're cross-contaminating with the duckweed, that's for sure, because it'll be in every one of your tanks if you cross-contaminate.
And
I got little bitty tiny pieces.
Remember, when you're bringing fish in from outside ponds, don't mix them with your other fish. Yep. They have parasites. You need to deworm your outside fish when you bring them in and deworm them and deworm them and deworm them until you know they have good, clean poop and they're only pooping the color of the food that they're eating. Because I got so upset. One of my female guppies had red poop yesterday, and I'm like, oh no, is that anus worms? And then I remembered I've been feeding them cichlid flakes that has high protein in it. I'm like, oh, thank you. Because I was getting ready to flush that aquarium before things got going.
Oh, goodness.
But we got a lot of guests coming in, and I'm so excited about having everyone come with us. And Lazarus, I want to let you know you're welcome in the chat, but if you keep trolling, you will be put on time out, okay? We've got 3 minutes before you go live, and you can go live anytime you want to, Lazarus. You do not have to wait for me to stop. So, Mom loves you, but that's it. I don't know if y'all have seen Father Fish's coffee cup in Lee's video from England, and he was actually sending a few of us coffee mugs, and he sent one all the way to England to Lee. Wow. And he's such a fan of Father Fish. He thought it would be so cool to put Father Fish's face down in the aquarium, and the fish actually swam into the cup and out of the cup. They were just as curious as Lee was.
That's funny.
And then, like Holly says on the screen, she said his cup in the bottom of the aquarium, and just explained to them, he said, no more food. That was on his no food rant. Do not feed your fish. Do not. Now he wants you to feed baby fish who need high proteins and baby brine shrimp, and they need multiple feedings throughout the day, for them to grow healthy and etc. But your adult fish, he says, don't feed them. Now, that you can argue with Father Fish all day long, and he will just go on a rant with you. But when you really calm him down, he'll say, cut back on your feeding half. And then he'll say, cut back on your feeding. When you first tap that substrate, he said, give them 1/10 of what you normally feed them. And then he'll say, like 3 days later, give them 1/10 of that 1/10. Wow. Until you are just barely putting a dust in there. And then
that just teases them.
Not really. Their bodies will adjust. I went on a 2-week vacation. My fish were not fed, but I fed them regularly and gave them the water change before I left. In the morning that I left, I fed them regular feeding. And then for 2 weeks, they had no one feeding them. There was maybe one casualty of a guppy because it was an older guppy, only the strong survive. And I didn't do it on purpose to kill anybody, but everybody. And then when you come back, you want to do a small water change when you come back off of a vacation like that. And then when you feed them, you want to feed them lightly. Don't feed them heavy, because you can cause them to get blockages.
Oh, wow.
And now my bettas get automatic feeders when I leave, because your betta, unless you have one of those vacation shells that you put in there, the little,
Mhm.
they never really work, but
No.
it was something for them to nibble on if they did get hungry. So I never lose my betas, and I do put a vacation thing down there or an automatic feeder on the betas. But everybody gets a fresh water change when we get back. Ladies, I've ran over my time.
Uh-oh.
I want to say thank you again, again, again for everyone that showed up and put a like in there and stayed with us and laughed with us and cried with us, because there are problem fish and there are things that can go wrong in our fish rooms, but there are
Yes, there you go.
solutions. There are solutions. And never, never, never give up. You might have to take a break and get right back
You
in there
don't give up.
with both feet.
Well, thank you
Again,
for having me, Susan. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Susan.
thanks, Suzy Q. Y'all don't have to go anywhere. Y'all can hang in there, but I'm going to play my little outro.